Mythos Busters, investigating the mystery, monsters, and madness of Arkham Horror, the card game.
Hello and welcome to episode 52 of Mythos Busters, where things have gotten too punchy for me to have an intro. I'm Sean tonight, and with me is Ian.
Hi.
Ian. How are you?
I'm good.
On a scale of punchy to drunk, where are you sitting?
Mike Tyson.
Oh,
I'm not sure which side of the scale that is. Maybe both.
I think you like slid past the scale into like permanently disabled of some measure, but we'll take it.
Kith.
With very righteous. No, God, that was Daffy Duck. Here we go. Nick, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
I have no idea what scale I want to ask you about, so just how are you tonight?
I am great. I'm excited to be recording this episode because I love me some deck builds.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty excited because we're kind of through, not because we're through the Forgotten Age stuff, but the once we kind of clear the board of, running through the articles and running through the scenarios and, all the stuff that we kind of have built into our format, and we actually get to do some new stuff, I'm always excited, so...
I'm happy to be done with Forgotten Age as well.
Thank you for that.
That's what you're going for, right? Yeah.
And joining as well, of course, is Scott. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
How are thee?
I'm slightly tired. I got off a night shift this morning, and then I had to go to a toddler's birthday party.
Oof.
So,
Oof.
Yeah, energy is low to none. But,
Well, props for being here. If in your situation, I would have just pooped out and I'd be sleeping right now. So glad to have
I
you
just
with
have
us.
like 2 toothpicks holding my eyes open.
Oh, Jesus.
So we've
Tape's
got
not strong enough.
I mean, it's not. Have you ever tried it? Doesn't work. Especially on a nose because of all the oil. So we've got a very special episode for you guys tonight. We've got just the most ridiculous backlog of news to get through, but we're going to do it. And then we're going to do a special deck build, which we'll probably describe a little bit later, maybe? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Premise? Yeah, okay. Sure. So, before we get there, guys, let's do a little bit of Patreon catch-up. Ian, what we got?
So, few things. Thanks as always to everyone who has supported us on Patreon so far, and we're very excited to have hit that $200 mark, and plans are in motion for the musical episode at some point. So special thanks to our board members, Chris, Cyclos, Alexander, Ian, and Dave. And a special shout out to our random patron today is to Jan Norman. Thank you. Maybe we should...
I'm going to guess Jan.
Oh, it could be Jan Norman, yeah. I wonder if we should call this Employee of the Month or Employee of the Bi-Week instead of Random Patron.
Love it.
Sure. Employee of the Bi-Week is Jan Norman.
No. The Brown Jenkins favorite.
Brown Jenkins choice. Yeah,
there we go.
workshop it.
They're all winners.
We do have a few people that we owe job titles to that we're kind of rolling out over time. Now, of course, we had a whole bunch in our special intro to episode 50. But our good friend, Casey Lent, has a job title that we've assigned. It's not nepotism that he's gotten a job here. I assure you that he's well qualified. So Casey is our executive director of snark and criticism because no one can drop a snark bomb quite like Casey. So welcome to your position, and we look forward to all the cutting barbs that you will deliver in memos and other forms. And we also have a job title for Alexander Skiggs, one of our board members. So he has a very important position in the company, which he is the Mythos Busters office's primary seed custodian.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not
Someone
all.
needs to take care of our seed.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
This is true. I mean, it's the future, right? So The final note is, it seems like Gen Con is far, far away in August, but it always happens to come up much more quickly than anyone can anticipate, and so we want to start
because you have to
hyping
start
it now.
thinking about it 9 months ahead of time now.
Yeah, like badges went on sale last weekend, I want to say. Weekend
Yes.
before that. So badges are on sale. Events tickets won't go on sale. I think it's like April usually, if I'm remembering correctly. Something like that. March, April. But anyway, we've had some good turnout our past couple of Mythos Busters events. But now that we have Patreon rolling, we're not going to tell you what swag we have planned for Gen Con, but it is going to be pretty exciting next level stuff. So I encourage you, like, keep that schedule open when the time comes. Make sure you get a spot for our Mythos Busters event. You're going to be sad if you miss it and don't get the swag. Yeah, any other hyperbole or hype you guys want to throw in for that?
Well, I will also say that we're going to do our best to get as many seats as we can this year, but Gen Con is only getting bigger. Space is not really expanding a whole lot for at least, card game, this sort of meetup purposes. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and preemptively apologize for anyone who's not able to get a ticket. But as always, even if you're not able to get a ticket, the ticket only guarantees you the swag. You still can feel free to keep that time slot on your schedule. Show up, come say hi, catch a game. Just the ticket is only there for the swag. And
yeah, because there might, how Gen Con is, there might be people who have a ticket for our event and they just decide to do something else. So, yeah, be there in case there's a slot for you.
And at this point, we've yet to get the approval, right? The time and place that's forthcoming. Are we going to shoot for Friday again this year, probably?
I have no idea, but we will figure it out. And
okay.
Yeah, we'll try to figure out a good time. Well, obviously, we can't accommodate anyone's schedules, but if people do want to shoot us feedback about what time they like, that's we'll take it into consideration, certainly. Yeah. And final note, and I'm sure we are definitely planning on having extras of our mystery swag. Not sure how many, but we will try to do at least a couple contests so that if you can't make it, you'll have a chance at least to get your hands on it.
And as always, keep an eye out for After Dark, which is our special Gen Con closer, I guess? It's always the closer for me because we always bug out on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But yet to completely confirm, but Patrick, we were already making plans with the Slippery Noodle as we left last year, so I don't think anything is going to get in the way this year. But plan for Saturday night at the Slippery Noodle Inn, a few blocks walk from the Gen Con Convention Center. We all get together and we have some beers, we play some party games. Sometimes we turn on weird sci-fi cult movies. Who knows? It's a party. Killer Clowns from Outer Space was on last year, I believe.
Oh, really? I was too caught up in the Secret Hitler games.
As you do. All right, so moving on from there, guys, we've got some really exciting stuff. At least it's exciting to me. It makes me feel like Mythos Busters is a legitimate organization. We have reached out to a couple of product producers in the community and actually gotten to do some pretty cool things. So the first thing I want to hit up is I know I've mentioned them on the show before, but I'm going to mention them again because now we have a new dimension to the mention. Yeah, we'll go with it.
Sure.
Burger tokens. So burger tokens are basically custom tokens that are made for Arkham. You use the core of a penny or similar coin and stick two sides of, I think it's polyurethane. I really need to look this up next time we talk about burger tokens. But anyway, it's kind of a sticky, malleable plastic. So we reached out to Burger Tokens, and they're actually willing to play around with us a little bit and give our listeners a bit of a discount, which is pretty cool, I think, because I bought mine at full price, and you guys don't have to now. So if Burger Tokens are something you're interested in checking out, please do so, and use our special promo code at checkout, BUSTERS, for 10% off. Just 10% off, just for listening to this podcast. BUSTERS. Go out there and do it.
I think my favorite part about Burger Tokens is because they're very similar to penny gems. the guy showed me at BGG Con one year. He put it on his phone, and if you slowly tilt your phone, you can turn them fully upside down, and it looks like it's defying gravity. That's the best part.
Well, what's really cool about them is that poly kind of adheres to anything glossy, so they don't actually like stick. You don't have to pull them off, but they're hard to shake around on a sleeve or when you stack them on each other, which is really cool because, I use them primarily for clues, and I've ended up co-opting them for resources as well, because the tokens I use in my daily or in my normal games is just a hodgepodge from the 6 different sets I've bought. I pull one thing from every set. But anyway, the clues stack on top of each other. I think the designs are all really in line with the aesthetic of the game and really cool.
I really like the art. Like I'm more one for wooden tokens personally, but I have to admit, the art they chose was awesome. Like I'm very tempted to get a set, even though I have all my stuff pimped already. I'm like,
yep.
Oh, but and now it's 10% off. Damn it, I'm gonna go buy some.
When I got them, I like all the tokens, but I got them specifically for the clues. I think this clue is my favorite upgrade to clues that has been made, because it's really close to the aesthetic of the original, which I am a huge fan of, but it's also durable, and it's got a nice heft, and a nice stick, as mentioned.
Makes a good thud when you throw it across the room in anger.
It sure does.
Yeah.
So, second point on burger tokens is, again, we've been in contact with burger tokens, and I've been trying to convince, and I'm sure other people have too, convince them that they need to take a shot at a chaos token set. Because having a little compact chaos token set made out of burger tokens seems like just the coolest thing. So, they're willing to look at it. They posed us a question to pose to you, the listener. So there are 44 tokens in the basic set?
Correct.
And the burger tokens print in a set of 50. So there are 6 unclaimed tokens that are just going to be there by default. And they kicked it out to us for ideas on what those other tokens could potentially be. So among the ideas we had were usage tokens. So once per game abilities, once per turn abilities, just kind of reminder tokens. Lola rolls, I think?
Yeah.
So class icons to indicate Lola's current role.
Because you'd only need 3 for that, because you could do 1 on each side, so you have 6.
Right.
Yeah.
And then anything else, though, if you guys have any ideas, feel free to contact us via the Gmail, mythosbusterspod@gmail.com. Call into our hotline, 203-493-6984. Or just message us in Discord, anywhere we are. We're in so many places. God, it's so easy to get a hold of us. But yeah, so we'll hopefully be able to report back with some cool ideas and kind of keep everyone apprised of when that Chaos token set eventually comes out. And hopefully we'll be able to get 10% off then too. I'm going to guess that's the thing. So speaking of Chaos tokens...
Oh boy.
So I did mention that we have reached out to several producers in the community. The second one that responded to the Mythos Busters call is Arbits. Orbits.
Arbits?
A-U-R-B-I-T-S. Arbit. I'm going to go with Arbits. Orbits. I can't commit. So, Miles, who
Pick
runs...
a lane.
Yeah, I know. Miles, who runs Arbits... I'm just going to alternate every time I say it. We'll go with that. Has recently come out with a set of very, very premium Chaos tokens. Very, very premium Chaos tokens. These things are made out of a fiberglass core with metal and copper plating making up the art on the outside. They are, I think they're right around the same size as the regular, stock Chaos tokens. Is that accurate?
He said, yeah, the accuracy, so the tokens are 25 millimeters across in diameter. His are exactly that. Cardboard tokens obviously have slightly less accuracy, but yeah, they're pretty much the same size.
Yeah, so, but the design is wonderful. The Art Deco, how do you describe just the geometric shapes, and it's black on or gold on black, or is it black on gold? I think it's black on gold.
Gold on black?
Sure.
Either way, it's
Either
beautiful.
way.
They're all just unbelievably beautiful.
They are just gorgeous, and there was a little bit of back and forth in our Pimp Your Game channel on our Discord for those of us who were really paying attention to kind of the production of this, because Miles, or Inches, as he goes on our Discord, which is a cool nickname when your first name is Miles.
I get it.
Yep. So for those of us who were following it, it was a really cool thing to see. And kind of at the end, when things were starting to come out, we were kind of back and forth. Miles has put out there that these things are super durable. He does Keyforge tokens. He does, for Destiny as well. They're very durable. They're very scratch resistant. There's a little bit of back and forth as to whether or not you should use coin capsules with these. To me, that was kind of the point of upgrading, was to not have to worry about coin capsules. So I did the daring thing, and I'm currently using my set naked. Just naked. And you know
Same
what?
here.
I've played at least... Yeah, and Ian's doing it too. I've played probably 8 or 9 games with them, and, I've given things a healthy shuffle. I'm really putting them to the test. They are holding up just fine. Very, very light scuffing that you can see when you reflect it against the light in the perfect way. But beyond that, they are pristine, and they feel good, and they look good. Man, when I sealed a 0 on Shards of the Void...
It looks good.
Ian, how are you liking yours?
Yeah, I am too going au naturel with them, and it's been a good experience. The bag screwed me over yesterday, but I do not hold that against the tokens necessarily. But yeah, I think you can. I mean, if you like the kind of coin capsule approach, you can do that, and it's like a new design, so it's still going to be something different. For me personally, although I love the coin capsules and how they felt, I just wanted something different, so that's why I'm going. But the design is so pretty to look at.
Yeah. So, the reason we're talking these things up, besides the fact that they're just beautiful, is that Miles has given us a set to give away to you, possibly, our dear listener. So, what we're doing for this guy is we're going to run another meme contest, because I thought the last time we did that, it turned out really well. So, I've got the set in hand here. So, here's what you do. You're going to create a meme or memes. Let's limit it to 5 entries per person. If you want to go out and create 5 memes, that's fine. It just increases your chances of winning. But we'll cap it there just so we don't have like 20 from the same person.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and make a meme that is related in some way to the Chaos Bag. Tokens specifically pulling for tests, just related to the Chaos Bag. Send those memes to our Gmail. That is mythosbusterspod@gmail.com. We're going to go ahead and give everyone until Valentine's Day to submit those. And for those of you who don't celebrate reappropriated saints holidays, that would be February 14th is the deadline to submit those. And then once we have them all, we're going to post them on our Facebook. We'll probably post them out on Reddit. I still have to run that by the mods to make sure that that's not going to, create any conflicts of interest of any kind. But whoever gets the most upvotes and reactions and likes, or those fake internet points, they're actually going to do something for you this time. You're going to get this set of Orbits Chaos tokens, and my god, guys, these are probably the most... I want to say they're the keystone of my pimping collection, I have to say at this point.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet prize to get.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we have to straight up say it too. Like, they're not cheap.
No.
Like, what's a set about? I know for with the 10% he had off for the early bird or whatever he said, it was $113 Canadian. So was it like $90 American?
I'm
$80?
going to it now.
I think it was around
yeah,
that.
so it's $79.99 for the set, and then you can buy single extra tokens a la carte for $2 a pop. So
let's look at that second tentacle.
yeah,
But for me, the way I justify the price is it's like you're using it like the Chaos Bag is like the central focus of the game, so it's like something I want to be using that much. I can justify dropping that money.
Yeah, the first thing you pimp in Arkham is your Chaos Bag,
which there hasn't been a ton of options before, so that's why. Yeah.
True story. So we've got that as the grand prize, and then as well, we'll do a couple of runner-ups on both Facebook and Reddit. The prize for that is TBD. We'll think of something cool. We've got some cool stuff in reserve, potentially if you didn't make it to an invocation event. And yeah, so that'll be fun. So submit your meme or memes February 14th, and then we'll announce it on the podcast when it goes live. But just pay attention to our social media at that point, and go out and laugh at all the memes, because it's my favorite type of contest to run. I'll say that. People are hilarious.
Agreed.
All right. Whew. I feel like I had to get really excited about that. It's so exciting. Guys, I think we're going to skip play stories this week because we have so much else to get to. So
Yeah.
So let's blaze on past to community highlights. Nick, what we got going?
So I'll go quick because we do have a lot of news this week, but two things that I wanted to highlight this for community is the Chilo Horror blog, which is an Arkham Horror LCD blog. I wish I knew offhand what Chilo meant, but I've taken a look through the website and I can't find anything.
It's a carryover from Netrunner. Surprise, surprise. Chilo is one of the big megapolises, in big metro areas from Netrunner.
That would be why I was not. That's okay. Interesting that
Is
there's.
Isn't it? Chilo Grid. It was a thing. I played Netrunner.
Sorry, I'm just bugging Netrunner people.
However, the two most recent articles that what's the gentleman's name? Graham has posted on the Chilo Horror blog are the 4 investigator roles in Arkham Horror, which he talks about the different roles that you fill as you're playing and what those look like. And then the other one was tips for your first Forgotten Age playthrough, which I think is apropos. Gives you some pointers for your first time going through what many consider to be the most difficult campaign released so far. And then the other thing that I wanted to shout out was shared to us, I think, by Scott originally. And it's a Twitter account called Sassy Wendy. It is at Sassy Wendy and then the number 4. At Sassy Wendy 4 on Twitter, and there are some amazing tweets, and it's from the same guy who runs Right of Seeking. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So
the satire blog. Well,
yes.
Mostly satire. He does occasional strategy, but
yeah. So if you like the humor that is in some of the wondrous articles of Right of Seeking, you will also like Sassy Wendy 4 on Twitter because they're great.
Now I'm also curious, like, what is being covered by Sassy Wendy's 1 through 3?
Yeah.
Well, a quick Google search will find that out. Let's see.
No,
Safe
too much news to
search
get to.
off.
It's not really a backstab if I never liked the hoe in the first place. Or one of my favorite ones is, if you're not constantly discarding your shit, you don't have to keep paying for it to put it back out. Not naming any names, though.
I really like the, look what I found. It better be a stat line, Calvin, I swear to God.
Some of you have never had to discard a card to draw a new token, and it shows. Oh.
All right.
Yeah. This guy, I don't know. His name is Brian Sandberg. This guy, I don't know how he makes things that I find so funny. Like, everything he does, I think, is just absolutely, like, roll on the floor laughing hilarious. But,
Older brother plays Roland, makes you play Daisy again.
yeah. Like, just some of those articles are just... Oh, man. If you haven't seen the Right of Seeking blog, you need to go read it in its entirety.
They're going to be a community highlight every week, I think.
Also,
yeah,
I don't know if Brian listens, but if you ever need a guest writer, happy to do so.
And that's when the number of clicks in his website just go way down. Post engagement down 500%.
That was the moment it started.
All right, so moving on from there, guys, let's dig in to the news. Ian, you still have that arc built from last time? Because the flood has not gone away.
Yeah, we're going to dig into this smorgasbord now. We're really going to lean into this first article because new investigators. Some of the other ones we can breeze past more quickly, but let's really give our new investigators the attention they deserve. So first up is our new Seeker investigator, who we haven't had a sniff at all until this article came out. And I think I'll let Scott read this because he does have a love for things Seeker. So go ahead and read Joe Diamond.
Oh, thank you. We have Joe Diamond. He's the private investigator. His stats are a beautiful 2 willpower, because it doesn't matter. 4 intellect, 4 combat, and 2 agility, because it also doesn't matter. He is a detective. Forced, when the investigator phase begins, reveal the top card of your hunch deck. Until the end of the phase, you may play that card as if it were in your hand at -2 cost. If it is still revealed at the end of the phase, shuffle it back into your hunch deck. Elder Sign effect, +1, you may move an insight event from your discard pile to the bottom of your hunch deck. He's got 8 health and 6 sanity.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is they mentioned that he has a deck size of 40 cards, but 11 of those, I believe, are going into the hunch deck.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep, 10 of these cards and Joe's signature weakness are shuffled to form his separate hunch deck.
So he'll essentially have about the same as a normal investigator, but you're also getting this hunch deck as well.
Side deck, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
is it 4 combat in a Seeker?
Yeah.
That's happening, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think he's inverse Roland? You think he's got off-class Guardian? Or you think he's off-class Rogue?
It seems, I mean, yeah, you would think he would have the weapon access to make use of that. I mean, he has guns on the picture.
I mean, he has to have access to some weapons.
Maybe he's got the Carolyn-style splash where it's up to 15 of either level 0 Guardian or level 0 Rogue.
Sure.
I want to lean in that maybe he's got, like, insight level something to something. Like, just because... his private investigator deck must include at least 11 insight events.
Well, it helps that basically every event in Seeker is insight traded.
Not everyone, but yes, there are a lot of options for insight. It's pretty, yeah.
It seems like a fun mechanic. Like, you don't have much control over it because it's just kind of randomly shuffling through. But I mean, it's just all gravy at that point, right? Because you're still getting your regular deck.
And -2 cost is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to encourage people to use some events that usually don't get used that much because they're like 2 costs can be a little much sometimes.
The article even points out like working a hunch is 2 costs. So now you have a fast discover clues at your location for free. That is so good.
So good.
I don't know if you guys know that, Tesla's clues are good, but free Tesla's clues that are also fast.
Or how about a free level 0 preposterous sketches?
Yeah.
That's insight, right?
No.
No, I don't think it is.
Really? Oh, damn.
But no stone unturned.
Yeah, it is. I think every Seeker event is insight traded.
Yeah, see?
If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think everyone is, just because I don't like absolutes, but let's see.
Almost every. But I remember looking one time because I was playing with what's the card that returns an insight traded?
Eidetic memory.
Yeah, that you can play it again as a copy. And then I was like, wait, every card in my deck is insight. Oh, that's because all of these are insight traded. Let's see. Out of faction, he would have. If he has Guardian, Scene of the Crime is insight traded.
Oh, yeah.
So potentially that would be a 0 coster. That'd be pretty tasty.
Guys, delve too deep.
Oh, yeah. And isn't Ward insight? Spell and insight?
No.
It
is not.
No?
No. But Drawn to the Flame is.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah, there's a few here. Quantum Flux. Good.
Deciphered Reality.
There is a ton of Seeker.
Or 3.
Logical reasoning for 0 would be nice.
Yeah, man. Eidetic memory might actually see some play.
Yeah. So there's currently 36 cards with the insight trait in the game.
This is not like those investigators who get a trait and then it's like you have to wait a long time to get support.
Blessed.
Like, he has out of the box
you mean
support.
like
blessed.
So I guess we should look at his stuff too, his guns, and how about you like guns, Nick? Why don't you read Detective his signature weapon?
I do like guns, you're right. So let's get those in there. Okay, so Joe Diamond's signature asset are the Detective's Colt 1911s. It's a 4-costed asset. It has intellect, combat, and wild skill icons. The traits are item, weapon, and firearm. Joe Diamond deck only, uses 4 ammo, 2 hand slots, and its game text reads, up to two tool assets. Well, that's easy to say. You control do not take up hand slots. Action, spend 1 ammo. Fight, you get +1 combat and deal +1 damage for this attack. If this attack defeats an enemy, you may move an insight event from your discard pile to the bottom of your hunch deck. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has the damage bonus on it, so I like that. It apparently lets you use tools as well as guns, so that would lead me to believe that... What tools are there? There's lockpicks,
Mag glass,
magnifying glass, flashlight, okay.
Lantern, shovel, and fire extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
That's it.
And
so I wonder how many of those he'll actually have access to. Because that's a smattering of classes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the big thing, too, is this, his guns take up 2 hands.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that would normally knock out a lot of things. The fingerprint kit that's also in this.
That's right,
article.
fingerprint kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it has the same ability that his Elder Sign ability is, which is, I mean, that's pretty cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not often that you see that, where the Elder Sign ability is just straight up copied onto another card. Actually, it is kind of often, isn't it? But it's nice. So.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be pretty damn good, like, because you're going to, I mean, just the 4, like, combat and 4 intellect, it's like the 2 main areas of the game, you're going to have that covered, and then, like, you can throw the more situational events in his hunch deck, and then your regular deck can just be super high and tight, efficient, like, yeah, I think he's going to do a lot of work.
Like, having 4 and 4 in both of the offensive stats is just like, you hit the ground running. Like, he needs to play nothing to just get a few things done in the first few turns.
Yeah.
He'll probably be pretty good solo, too. Like,
I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 in both stats that you need right away.
Right.
Done. Yeah.
Wow. I guess for completion's sake, we should look at his weakness, too. This is Unsolved Case. This has something mysticky looking on it, so why don't you read it, Sean?
Yeah, okay. There's an Elder Sign, I suppose. Unsolved Case is a weakness event. Costs 4. It's insight and mystery traded. Place one of your clues on the location with the highest shroud. Remove Unsolved Case from the game. And then forced, if Unsolved Case would be shuffled into your hunch deck, add it to your threat area instead. And for the remainder of the game, it gains forced. When the game ends, Joe Diamond earns 2 fewer experience points for this. No, points isn't there. 2 fewer experience for this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
So, remind me what would shuffle this back in? Is it just his ability?
At the end of the so when the hunch deck, the beginning of the turn, you flip over the top card. If it's this, at the end of the turn, his card says to shuffle the hunch deck back in or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, so if you don't address it immediately, it's gonna hop into your third area.
This card shows up. You have to deal with this turn, or you don't get 2 experience. Oof. So it's yeah. Now the thing is, though, it is insight and it's off the hunch deck, so the cost is actually 2.
Right.
Because
but it's not fast.
So it is not.
Right.
If you're bogged down with enemies, this is just happening.
Yeah, it's going to be really timing dependent, I feel like.
On standalone, it's nothing.
It's,
Sure. Yeah.
But that's a lot of weaknesses.
That's when you go 49 XP.
Exactly. Ian knows how it works.
Yeah, it could potentially be nasty, but it's not the worst signature weakness I've ever seen, I feel like, so...
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think it's terrible.
Like,
You lose
annoying,
an action,
but
2
not
resources, and a clue.
even if
you're able to play it.
Even if it hits, like, of course, like, not getting experience sucks, but on balance, would you rather have that or a mental trauma hit you? I think I'd rather eat the experience loss, personally.
Yeah. Although seekers can be pretty like experience hungry though.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, right? Like, I don't know.
Especially if he's Guardian off class, you're gonna want those experience points.
Yeah, Guardian is really XP hungry, but yeah, we'll see.
I think it is a reasonable weakness. It is not
Yes.
backbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But it's also not nothing. This isn't... Shoot.
Right.
It's balanced. It's not to fight the Black Wind.
Right.
I was thinking
Correct,
of... God, why can't I think of Jim's weakness? Holy cow.
Oh,
Final Serenade?
Final Rhapsody.
Final
Rhapsody, there it was. Okay, I couldn't think of the right synonym for song. Final Aria.
Final Dirge. That would actually work.
Yeah.
It would.
Final Limerick.
Final
That's not a
Limerick.
song. It's a poem.
Final lullaby. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll go to the other investigator, and then we'll circle around to the new cards, the couple of new cards that were spoiled. So basically, I just all set this up so that I could read our new rogue. So our new
As is
rogue
your want.
investigator is Preston Fairmont, the millionaire. Has ones across the board for his stats: 1 will, 1 intellect, 1 combat, 1 agility. Silver, Twilight, and Socialite traded. Anytime you gain 1 or more resources from a card effect, place them on family inheritance instead of in your resource pool. Elder Sign effect +0, you may spend 2 resources to automatically succeed instead. 7 health and 7 sanity, which is balanced. We really can't discuss them unless we talk about family inheritance. So, family inheritance is an asset, boon, permanent.
Oh, I guess Ian's reading this one too.
Yep.
Let him have his day.
I'm just plowing through. Action, move all resources from this card to your resource pool. Forced, when your turn begins, place 4 resources from the token pool on this card. Resources on this card may be spent as if they were in your resource pool. Discard all resources from this card at the end of your turn. So, that's a lot of text. Basically, he gets a ton of resources per turn, more than anyone else, 4 resources additionally. But unless you spend the action to move it from family inheritance to Preston, then they go away at the end of your turn. But they can be spent from family inheritance itself.
Right. And Jeff brings up in chat, starting turn, he has 9 resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
You can
pretty
drop
Leo.
Leo DeLuca and a Derringer.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then what else to do with your other 2 actions? You've got so much time. Stat line sucks, though.
Yeah.
Right?
It
I'm
really
looking
does.
at that, trying to figure this out. Like, so he has access to cash, but
I think the idea is you get, like, Streetwise and, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, those money boosters, right?
I feel like you can go one of 2 ways, or probably a mix of both. Yeah, one is dropping it into the boosters, and then 2, I think, is like Tesla's action stuff. Like Lola's gonna
Yeah.
be huge with this guy. He can just basically pay to get clues.
So is he is Preston basically like the extreme version of Jenny?
Sure, a Jenny
Like-
that's not active and is richer.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Which, you know, looking at Preston and how he's designed, that gives me hope for Charlie Kane in the future, because he would be an investigator that would seem more like a backline, you know, character. And Preston is definitely a backline
Right.
character for the most part. Really interesting. I like
Yeah.
the design of him.
This is one of the maybe the one in the box that I have to wrap my head around the most. There's a few they're all pretty interesting, but this one is because of that stat line. I feel like it's pretty well balanced, like figuring out how to make it work.
He's
Yeah, it's because
the
he's
Calvin
one
of
better
this
than
box.
Calvin. God
He's-
damn
yeah.
it, Scott!
And he even has higher health and it's literally like they learned from Calvin. Because higher health and sanity.
yeah. Oh god.
So remember a few episodes ago when I was talking about Joey the Rat and whether we would see an investigator who possibly might want to use him? Do you think Preston would use Joey the Rat? Like
I forget what Joey
super
does.
item-heavy build.
As like a support build?
Yeah, definitely not
Well,
solo.
what else would you build? What else would you build Preston for if not support?
I would think of it some kind of multiplayer build, yeah.
Yeah. Choose an item from your hand. Yeah, I would. Oh, totally. I think.
I mean, I think
Is there?
the big
Well, let's
thing
put
that
it this
stops-
way.
You put it your way.
Okay, no, put it this way. Is there an ally that's better for level 0 Preston than Joey?
Leo DeLuca.
Yeah, well,
Leo
Leo's still
DeLuca.
more flexible. Yeah.
Who's the guy? If you have 10 resources or more, you get
Dario
plus stats.
Elamine,
Dario.
which
That doesn't count though, because most of his resources are going to be sitting on family inheritance, right? You think he's
Right,
ever
only
gonna be
for a
sitting-
turn.
Well, right, but
Only-
you think he's going to sit on 10 resources? He needs to spend them. He's got 1 in all of his stats.
You know what's interesting
That's
too
the
about
tough
lodge or about the family inheritance too, is when your turn begins, you place 4 resources. At the end of your turn, they go away. So Mythos phase, you don't
Yeah,
have this big boon of resources if you have like some sort of willpower boost to spend or whatever.
Yeah,
So
he's totally a backline investigator. Like, he can't do anything offensive right out of the gate unless you specifically build him to adapt to his weird style. So
You
Yeah,
think he's going to be solo viable?
that's the big
I tried,
question.
dude. I tried solo Calvin, and that was a train wreck. So solo Preston will probably be like a train just rolling off the tracks.
but like one of those really nice train cars, you know, like
Yeah.
like
Oh,
your
no,
own
it's-
sleeper.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's glitzy, but it's
hot
still
toddies
not.
and-
It's not getting you where you want to go.
mimosas.
Yeah, we
'Cause
need
he's
the
rich.
mimosa card.
Yeah.
Yeah, going against the grain of what they usually do, they actually did tell us what his deck building is, so he does have access to Survivor, actually, up to level 2.
Also,
So
Dark
he's-
Horse is possibly a thing.
So he's Wendy's dad.
It all comes together.
You could totally do Dark Horse because, like
If-
his,
well, if you're
his-
Still pay
spending
for
those
shit
resources.
constantly.
Yeah.
well, his inheritance doesn't count, right? So you
Yeah.
just get 4 every turn.
I really like Fire Axe for that too, because you can spend from like if you can have your resources clear from your card, you can still spend from family inheritance to boost your attack, but you're still getting the extra damage from Fire Axe.
Oh my
I
god.
love how you can have like 10 resources sitting on the inheritance and still have Madame Lebranche prop you up and give you resources.
I love the idea of a Dark Horse Preston build. Like, that seems so cool because Dark Horse literally increases his effectiveness 100%.
So now, Sean, you mentioned having 10 resources on his family inheritance. Why would you want 10 resources in his deck?
It was gross hyperbole.
It was
I was trying
gross.
to segue into lodge debts that cost 10.
That's
So his
alright.
signature weakness
Yeah, go
Oops,
for it.
that's
Read
not
it,
it.
Scott.
is lodge debts. It's a 10 cost event. It's a pact. And you play it, it just says remove lodge debts from the game. It does have force when the game ends or you are eliminated. If lodge debts is still in your hand, you suffer 1 mental trauma. So you pay 10 money to just remove it from your hand.
So, speaking of hands, I know that we talked about that one card a while ago about having great hand illustration, but I think that this card looks like a fucking photograph.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fairly
I know it's
certain
an
it's the
art.
same artist too.
Oh my god.
It's a really
Sarah
Sarah
Biddle.
Biddle.
Sarah Biddle, you can draw my hands all day.
it's a really uncomfortable looking handshake that's depicted.
Dude, yeah. Worst handshake ever. But,
Make sure the ring is exposed, grip these fingers, grab the wrist,
Twist their pinky out of their socket.
yeah.
high five.
Kiss.
And then a butt smack on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my final thought on Preston is I feel like he is going to be an interesting puzzle solo, but I feel like I'm going to have the most fun playing him in multiplayer to
Yeah, I
actually
think he's gonna
explore
be-
what he can do.
Yes, I think it's going to be an interesting puzzle just in general, trying to get an investigator with all ones to work consistently.
So Iron Man 2020 confirmed, Ian?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we'll see who else comes out. Maybe we'll get McGlynn by then, but we'll see. Okay, so I think the new card we had was just Fingerprint Kit, unless I'm forgetting something.
I linked a different one.
Which one? Sorry.
Money Talks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fingerprint Kit. Let's go ahead and have Nick read that one.
Okay. Skipping the sequel to Handshake Art and going right to Fingerprint Kit, the Seeker asset, 4 resource cost, intellect skill icon item, and tool traded. There's that tool bit. Mm-hmm. Uses 3 supplies. Action. Exhaust Fingerprint Kit and spend 1 supply. Investigate. You get +1 intellect for this investigation. If you succeed, you discover 1 additional clue at your location. Takes up 1 hand slot.
Guys, it's like a 45 Occlumatic.
Oh my god.
It's like a 45 Deduction Matic?
Yeah.
No.
I hate all of you right now. But I don't hate this card.
No, not at all.
It's pretty decent. 4 is a bit high, but it's also decent, like pretty decent compression. So.
And it's perfect level up fodder to eventually, when we return to Circle Undone, have like a 2 or 3 experience one that's, lower cost, more supplies.
Mm-hmm. And it's level 0, so any Dunwich Vader Investigator can take this. So this could fill some spots for certain Gators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we're all just like, yeah, good card, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
It's deduction, but when you want it. Like, the only downside, like, the 4 cost is a little bit of a hump to get over, and the hand slot can be kind of a contest. But other than that, it's literally deduction whenever you need it.
Mm-hmm. But it's also like a 45, except it shoots clues.
Right,
Yes.
yeah. And you can contraband it.
Yes.
And you can quiche 3 it, so...
Yeah. Wouldn't it like do the opposite of a gun, so it sucks up the clues instead of shooting them?
Accurate.
The clues are on a chain, so it shoots them out, and then you can suck them right back in.
It's like Luigi's Mansion gun.
Jesus. Mario!
All right, returning to the handshake theme, we have Money Talks. So, Sean, you're the money man. Not really, but why don't you read this one?
I was like, the money man in every way except for literally.
I appreciate the sentiment, though. All right, so Money Talks is a level 0 rogue event. It also costs 0. It has favor and gambit traits. Fast. Play when you initiate a skill test. Instead of the skill type indicated for this test, willpower, intellect, combat, or agility, this is a resource skill test. Your base skill value for this test is equal to half the number of resources in your resource pool rounded down. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy pretty much everything else.
So this is Preston's alternate signature, right?
Yes, pretty much.
The signature that actually goes in the deck.
Right, yeah. This is Preston's forbidden knowledge.
He has to be a little careful about it, though, right? Because it's not going to count anything on inheritance. It counts resources in your pool.
Right.
So there's a little bit of deliberation to it.
Oh, yeah.
I think the idea is, like, you eventually, like, a couple turns, like, you play a quiche, and then you take the action to suck all the resources over, like, a couple times, and then just keep a decent bank on him.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so he's got a bunch in his resource pool, and you just constantly spend the inheritance. But
It could work.
you know,
It's a good Jenny card as well. She
Oh,
rolls
yeah.
in quite a few,
Yeah.
rogue investigators in general obviously tend to run higher in resources, and this is a great card for the low willpower rogues to pass those key willpower tests, I think.
so all the rogues?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Wendy, like, using bribery to get things done, like, as weird as that is.
This would be really bad in a Dark Horse deck. So
Hot take.
yeah. Pro tip.
This is also good for just the ton of rogue stuff that requires succeeding by 2, or you're trying to hit a big double or nothing test. It's kind of an alternate form of like boosting your skill, but the nice thing is you're not actually having to like spend the resources or commit cards, because you can't commit cards to this because it's a resource skill test. But
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Outside of what? Lucky? Anything that just modifies your skill value as a general mechanic, right? Those are the only things you'd be able to use.
Yeah, something that affects the modifier
The
afterwards. Yeah, right.
Interesting. And I suppose if you play anything mid-test to modify or react to, that's going to lower your skill for the test too, assuming you spend resources.
Yep.
Interesting.
Weird. Archer Av asks in the chat, can you use wild? I don't know.
That is a good question.
Because wild is supposed to match one of the icons, but does it just give you +2 to your skill value in general, or is it counting as, like, you're counting it as 2 fists or something?
I think you have to count it as something. So my intuition is I don't think you can use it, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They should have just created a 5th skill icon that was a dollar sign.
All right, so that's our 2 new investigators coming in the Circle Undone soon. Our next article was...
oh my god, that's only one.
Yeah. Thankfully, the first 2 are actually the only ones we're really going to discuss. So this one is also a bit of a big deal because it's introducing a brand new type of card and a brand new slot to the game, actually. So basically how this is going to work is you get a tarot slot. These are tarot cards. And you get, basically it can hold 1 tarot card. You have 1 tarot slot. That's all you can do. The article mentions, the article is entitled A Dark Omen, and it mentions that each class is going to get a unique tarot card, and then there's also a neutral one mentioned. So not sure if probably, I'm guessing we'll get more tarot cards throughout the cycle, but we'll have to see. At least this is what they've spoiled so far. So, starting with the 5 of Pentacles. This is Survivor, so Scott, take it away.
That sounds like a made-up word. I'm sorry.
What, Pentacles?
Yes.
5?
5.
The more you say it, the dirtier it sounds over time.
5?
Pentacles. Yeah, that too.
So 5 of Pentacles from the Brink is a 3-cost level 1 asset for Survivor. It's tarot traded. You get +1 health and +1 sanity, and it has a reaction when the game begins if 5 of Pentacles is in your opening hand. Put into play. It is time to rise up again. And it takes up the Tarot slot. Tarot?
Yep, that's the new Tarot icon.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing about these cards, too, is the Survivor one is slightly different, the neutral one's slightly different, but the other 4 are literally the same card with just a different boost.
Sure.
Like, Survivor is +1 health, +1 sanity, Guardian is fighting, Survivor, book, or no, Survivor.
Did you just
Secret.
utter book on this podcast? Get out, sir.
I did.
Book, fist,
I am tired, and I've been
head.
dealing with children.
Okay. Fine. Forgiven. But I'm still angry
Mystic it gives you +1 head. And
Okay, that one is acceptable.
and Rogue is +1 ass kick.
Yeah.
I believe is the foot.
+1 Hermes.
Oh my god, that's a fucking callback.
Yeah, take it way back. So, 5 of Pentacles for Calvin, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody, but
But especially for Calvin.
Yeah. These are really good if you get them like at the start of the game.
Right.
Yeah, they're all
When you
similar in
don't-
that regard, that you're kind of banking on. Not that they're not playable if you don't get it in your opening hand, but obviously they're at their best if you can put them into play right away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this something that you expect to be hard mulliganing for? And, like, how sucky would it be to be like, in TFA, I'm going to upgrade to my tarot card, and then, oh, I don't get a mulligan because I didn't bring the right supply. Like,
They forgot to fill a Jeep with gas.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure these questions aren't really that big. Like, I would imagine you don't hard mulligan for your tarot card every game.
Yeah, I would think so.
Probably.
Stokes bring up in the chat for Safina. Like, she draws 13
yeah.
cards, so she's probably a really good one to take.
She needed help,
Take a
so
turn.
that's nice.
Bottom of the barrel Safina.
Right. Garbage tier Safina.
Don't write hate mail at us. They're all kidding.
I think I have to play with these cards to feel, like, get a feel for them. It's a very interesting idea.
Yeah, I feel like they're not necessarily all created equally depending on Investigator. Like the Five of Pentacles, +1 health and +1 sanity is nice. But I also feel that Survivor has a ton of like soaks. So usually I'm just soaking up damage. Again, unless I'm Calvin. So I don't know how heavily I would lean on this. Maybe. The +1 agility for rogues would obviously be great for a lot of them.
I actually
The
like the
+1
Five of
combat
Pentacles
in
for
Guardian.
Agnes. A little bit of extra sanity.
Oh, yeah.
You like everything for Agnes, though.
That's true.
I like good cards for Agnes.
Guilty.
I think Guardians in general, like, I realize, yeah, of course they're using their combat, but having +1 combat every single fight, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically giving the central boost. So, I think I'm with you, Scott, that I need to actually try that. They're just doing something so fundamental, but it's just going to be a question of whether you have space in your deck for them.
You know what I think?
Right.
I think these might be more favored as off-class buys for those investigators who can do it. 'Cause
Sure.
If you're
Yeah.
If you're Guardian,
Maybe.
you've got a lot of ways to get extra combat. You probably don't need this. But if you're Yorick, well, Yorick doesn't need it, but I think he looks at it harder than, like, Roland would.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
Or
Roland
do you
might
just
want it
double
too, though.
down? Do you just double down on the combat buffs and get all of them that you can?
You could.
Mark's walking around at like 9 strength. So,
Double beat cops, the
Just-
Ace of Swords.
just like looks at someone and it dies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Safina is
Oh.
a good example of that. Like, for the Four of Cups that gets you +1 will. Like, will boosts are really good for Safina, and she has probably the best shot of anyone of getting it in her opening hand.
So now that we have a new slot, we need a permanent 3-cost thing for another tarot slot, and I think it should be deck box. And it's just like a picture of a plastic deck box. Yeah.
We should have an investigator that has a secondary deck like what Joe Diamond does, except for it's the deck of many things, and it just contains all the tarot cards.
Yeah.
Well, there's a dead joke, I guess. Sorry to bring the D&D into Mythos Busters. Can we talk about the neutral tarot card and just forget about
Yeah,
that?
let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That
let's do
reference
that.
just flew straight over my
Why don't you dig yourself out of that one by reading Ace of Rods, Nick?
Great. The Ace of Rods is a 3 resource costed asset. It also costs 1 experience point. It is tarot traded. It takes up the tarot slot. And it has a free action. During your turn, remove Ace of Rods from the game. You may take an additional action this turn, during which you get +2 to each of your skills. Reaction. When the game begins, if Ace of Rods is in your opening hand, put it into play. This one, I really like. Like, the passive +1 bonus to a skill is cool, like it is, and I love the passive bonuses. And I know early on, even in the podcast, or before the game really, before we really knew what the game was going to look like, I loved the idea of spending experience to just increase your stat line. And that's kind of what the tarot cards are more or less doing, especially because you can slap them into play right away. But the Ace of Rods is actually interesting because it introduces a choice.
Right.
When do you use this, and when is it? When do you upgrade to it? When do you use it? And that's much more interesting than windmill slam +1 combat rest of the game.
This is maybe the one that I think is most kind of varies in value depending on whether you get it in your opening hand or not. Like in your opening hand, it's money. I would love to have that on tap, but if I have to spend to play this later...
Oh, and it has no icons.
Yeah, all of the tarot cards, they don't have icons, so if you draw them later, you're not even committing them to anything.
I think rogues take this. Payday rogues take this.
Sure.
Yeah?
Action rogues like Skids would... I think I could see a Skids build that uses this. And borrowed time and Payday and that sort of thing.
Or like Survivors with Will to Survive. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Totally. Other than that, it is really situational. You're right.
Yeah.
Cornered fodder for Cornered is such a good card because it turns everything into ammunition. I love it.
Sure does.
So, weird rules question.
Yep.
If you pop this at the beginning of your turn, do you automatically have to take that extra action first?
So basically the way extra actions work is the first action you take that can be fulfilled by a special action. So like let's say you're playing Daisy and you have a tome. If you if you use your tome, it automatically uses her tome action first. Same thing with Mississippi Manatee. Leo. The first action you take in a turn is his. So whenever you pop this, the next action you take will be this action.
Okay.
Although I would think that the case where you would want it to not be the next action is pretty niche.
Right.
I mean,
and it's a fast action.
You just don't
to
pop it.
So.
Yeah.
You pop it when you want to use it. Like it just.
Right.
Don't just be like, I'm going to use it this turn, but I'm not sure when. I'll pop it now.
In 3 actions, this will be really handy.
Yeah.
That was exactly the PSA I was going for.
Yes.
I really like Ace of Rods into Quick Thinking, because then you're getting the +2, which maybe will hopefully trigger the Quick Thinking as well. Start chaining some actions together.
And then net yourself like 6 resources with Payday at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I just thought of... Oh, my God. One sec. I have to read it. Okay. So, if you have fine clothes on, and you and you pop Ace of Rods, and you do a parlay action, and then you commit. Quick thing is the one you get an extra action.
A while,
Extra
then you get
action,
an extra action. Yep.
So if you succeed at that, because it's during a parlay test, you can do another action, which you could like fight or something. You get the test that you would do it during the fine closed action parlay would be -2, and you would still get the +2 from this Ace of Rods on that bonus action. So it'd be like a +4 within the initial parlay test.
Okay, you're wrinkling my brain now.
That is some varsity level jank, my friend.
Oh
That's
man,
from Jankatonic University.
That's the deck I'm playing for Iron Man PFA. So with all those parlay tests.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also a weakness.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we should look at that. This is the Tower. 4-cost asset. Basic weakness. Circumstances beyond your control. Omen and Tarot traded. You cannot commit cards to skill tests while the Tower is in your hand. If the Tower is drawn in your opening hand during setup, before or after taking a mulligan, you cannot replace it. It must stay in your opening hand, and it takes up the Tarot slot.
That's the worst part of it, right?
Yeah.
It's the shitty version of...
Yeah, mulliganing it away. Cannot commit cards to skill tests.
So this shuts Min down completely. Completely. And Silas.
This shuts down this just shuts down good playing.
Well, sure, but I'm saying investigators that literally like their ability is centered around the use of skills.
Yeah.
So
And then you gotta
Well, this
pay
is commit
4 to
cards.
get it on the table so that it can stop blocking you.
and then it sits there, like, and then it's well, I mean, then it doesn't, because it's only while it's in your hand.
Yeah.
So, but
but it
you'll have to
takes up
kick
that
out another
tarot
tarot
slot the
card.
rest of the
Yep.
game.
If you have your Ace of Rods out, or not that, but like any of the other, the Moon or whatever, this kicks it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also prevents you from playing another one, right? Because you can't willfully get rid of a weakness.
No, you can play it. You could play one and it bumps it out because
Really?
it doesn't have a. Yeah, because
it's an asset.
And also this, and this doesn't have a cannot leave play clause
Yeah,
like
the
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon.
Yeah, you could play this and just it could get bumped.
Is
out.
it just you can't willfully discard weaknesses from your hand? Is that
Correct.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I was
your
conflating
hand.
the two.
Yeah,
Otherwise, Cornered would turn this into Too Wild.
but if you what's the card from Dunwich where it's like pick a card, asset, event, skill?
Oh yeah,
If someone picked asset, you could discard this from your hand.
because you're not willfully doing it.
Correct.
That's when
But
you just
you
have to
couldn't-
waggle your eyebrows at them so they know to pick asset.
Yeah.
You have to start stacking, stacking your cards into a tower.
No.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's move it on to the next one.
Okay, so that's about it for the tarot cards. Looking forward to where that goes. The next article was a designer journal from Matt Newman. I said Nat Moomin. Matt Newman. The story is woven on storytelling in games. This is actually, I really enjoyed this article a lot. I don't think we can really go into it now because this would almost be a topic on its own. But I did like the things he had to say about storytelling in games, and it gives you an insight into how he approaches design, and I think just confirmed to me why I really like his designs, because he thinks in a similar way that I do as far as approaching games and kind of like creating these stories about what's happening and explanations for, why is this ally suddenly popping up out of nowhere? What was Milan doing the whole rest of the time? So I always like creating those little backstories in my head. The next article after that was entitled The Enchanting Entertainer, and this is finally confirming the arrival of Marie Lambeau finally to the game, other than her early promo appearance. That am I the only one who has Marie among us?
I have her.
Oh, you have her. Okay.
Played as her like twice, I think.
Yeah, that's about. I think I'm like 3 or 4. Yeah. So everyone will get a chance now to experience Marie, who's in my experience is quite a good investigator, just because she is kind of like a Finn. Not that they play similar, but just I feel like anytime you give 4 intellect to a non-seeker investigator, it really changes the game, especially in solo. It's pretty huge. There wasn't a ton of. We've already talked about Marie in you have to go back in the Wayback Machine and find when we talked about her. It was probably one of our early episodes. But so the only really new thing this article provided for us, other than telling us she's going to be in the box, is a new card, Prophecy. So, Sean,
Prophesy.
It is prophesy.
however you want to pronounce
Right? Wouldn't it be
as
spelled
long
with a
as you
C
read it.
if it was prophecy?
Prophecy is the noun. Prophesy. This one is the verb. So this is someone who is like
Prophesying.
prophesizing. Yes.
Scott, you're just here for all of the rules questions, not just
Well,
the
this is
Arkham
just
ones.
Including the
like-
English rules.
Yeah, English.
Yes. Anyways, please
Prophesy
continue.
is a level 0 mystic skill. It has 1 wild icon. It is practiced traded. While there are 3 or more Doom in play, Prophesy gains wild. 1 wild icon. And then while there are 6 or more Doom in play, Prophesy gains 2 wild icons instead. The end approaches. I'm a little confused by this one. This one I feel like is super dependent on agendas.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
super dependent on agendas. And I know as someone who plays a lot of Mystic, and I love Doom play, a lot of that Doom play is super dependent on agendas, but you can kind of be a little deliberate. You kind of, as soon as you know a scenario, you can metagame a little bit, and then this becomes better. I feel like this one's got a really high skill cap to get the most out of it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is a standalone card. And this isn't one you're going to necessarily bring into a campaign. Not necessarily. Because either you're including it in the first couple scenarios and then likely replacing it, or you're spending experience to include it later? ? So...
Yeah, I think... Because I look at it, I'm like, okay, so single wild icon, and it does nothing, right? Like, there's no text on the skill card that, it's like, watch this.
It's unexpected.
Exactly, right? It's unexpected, and then it turns into unexpected courage.
Your commitment to that sold it.
Like, for it to be... For a lot of the time, it's going to be equal to unexpected courage. Mm-hmm. So... why would I take this when at times it could be less than unexpected courage?
Mm-hmm. And like the ideal scenarios, you get it up to 3, which is like an inquiring mind or take the initiative, which I would rather take either of those over. And obviously, investigators, a lot of investigators can't take those; they would have to take this. But I'm just saying, comparing those types of cards, I feel like this is the weakest of those.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I was just going to say, it's interesting because, like, Take the Initiative has a very clear purpose, and that's often for answering the encounter deck during the Mythos phase.
Right.
Because then you get those 3 wild. And Inquiring Mind has a build that exists around it. The Malison, Inquiring Mind, Preposterous Sketches, Clues on Your Location build.
Well, that, and it's just not very hard to orchestrate a clue on your location.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, there's other things that exist around it, whereas this, you could argue it has, like, there's that Doom play build, but the fact that it is so dependent on the current agenda, which can fluctuate so much even within a campaign or even within a scenario, that, again, I think this is standalone. I think this is when you go in knowing full well exactly what the scenario is, and you're not planning a long run, you're just planning one game.
And if you're... Yeah. I'll just say they missed an opportunity with this one's flavor text. It should have been when the edibles kick in.
Yeah, that is quite the expression.
The art is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of this card is that the Rite of Seeking blog, Brian wrote, on the plus side, Prophesy now has 3 wild icons. Oh my god. Yeah, so what about Practiced? Does Practiced what can Silas take?
Yet. I don't think it does.
No, he's innate, right?
Yeah, we're looking at innate for True Survivor and Silas.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
It's weird that Prophesy is anyways, never mind, forget it. I'm not going to open up that discussion now. Let's just move on.
This is like Professor Trelawney in Harry Potter when she starts having her crazy moments of actual prophecy. Potterheads, hit me up. Okay, last article is Fate of All Fools. We're not really going to delve too deep into this one because it's pretty much... It feels like we're getting close to the release of the Circle and Den because they've kind of exhausted the player cards and now they're revealing some of the encounter cards. And generally, we don't really go over the encounter cards on our podcast. So we'll just say that it looks cool. I like some of the mechanics they're spoiling. There's a new Haunted mechanic, which basically is triggering off locations if you fail to investigate. So we had to retaliate. We had Alert. And Haunted is basically the equivalent for Investigate now.
Haunted is the retaliate for investigating.
Yeah, exactly.
The couch comes up and punches you in the face.
We just need endless plays of the meme of Korg and Ragnarok saying "Piss off, Ghost." Like that's gonna be it's gonna be this whole cycle. Yeah, and we have some witches coming. It looks like they're going to be focused on actually milling through the encounter deck, which is interesting. But we shall see. That is it for the news for now. We'll see what flood comes our way next time.
Excellent. Sorry, I was in the middle of a swig of beer. It was ill-timed. Okay, guys. So, we're going to skip over rules this week because I think, Scott, you didn't have anything of note, right?
No, I basically went off about fine clothes and all that stuff. So that's
Okay.
I consider that the rules segment.
The hunger has been sated. Okay, so let's move into our main topic, an hour and a half into the episode.
No one panic.
Some of you who have listened to our backlog may remember when we did the all purple all the time build in cooperation with, let's see here, that was Arkham Chronicle, Drawn to the Flame. Was it Man from Lang?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
So the entire purpose there was to build a team of investigators, all of the same color. We're doing it again, and this time it is all yellow all the time. So we're going to build Ursula for a team of all Seekers.
And just like last time around, we were instructed to go in blind, not knowing what the composition of the rest of the group would be, so we have to build Ursula not knowing what role she's going to fill, but just thinking about Ursula in relation to the other Seekers. What do we think her sweet spot would be in that kind of team?
So, I think we need to address something up front. I think Seeker has a decent amount of staples. Main one being Dr. Mullen Christopher. So, I'm gonna say that I think everyone else was probably really nice and assumed that everyone else was gonna take Dr. Christopher. So I want to say that we should consider him.
Sure.
And eschew all other staples. That's a lukewarm reaction.
Do we want to talk about the type of Ursula we want to build first?
Probably, if we want to be responsible.
Granted, Milan fits all types, but...
That's why he's pretty good. Yeah.
So, Ian, do you know, I know you were kind of our main point of contact here. Do you know if the intent was to build a level 0 deck for a campaign, or are we going standalone with some XP?
Level 0, as far as I understand.
Okay. So double
standalone level 0, or the worst standalone deck.
I mean, I feel like the obvious place to start is that Ursula is going to be the one Seeker who can actually evade and lock down enemies that way.
I was actually thinking that Ursula's one of the ones that could actually break off from the main group, and if there's like some clues over there that need to get taken care of, you know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe kind of like a flex where when you're playing, if there's one location like 2 away that you only need one person to go to, that's Ursula's job.
Sure.
Kind of like a seek and destroy missile, but clues.
Yeah.
The seek and destroy missile gun, or clue gun, like we talked about earlier. How heavy do we want to lean into the relic part of Ursula? Because I personally like Chthonian Stone in Ursula. I like the Dr. Ellie Horowitz, double Dr. Ellie Horowitz, and then Tooth of Esli, Chthonian Stone, because then those options just open up even more when you start gaining experience with like Ornate Bow and Time Worn Brand. So I like that, but I guess I don't know if this is planning to go through a campaign or literally just a scenario.
Yeah, I think the idea would be if we were like working together as a team for a campaign, how would we want to tackle that? Like, personally, I think, it would be trying to get to our innate bow, even if we're like... Because I don't think an all-seeker team would have a main killer. I would think it would be more like everyone is doing their part, and I think Ursula could do a lot of work there with the bow and picking off enemies here and there, especially the 3 health enemies. So Ellie would help with that, because that's great when she can grab the bow and wield it for you.
And more importantly, too, I don't foresee Ellie being contested between the other Seekers, whereas Milan, the first thing that I went to, like, if I'm building a team, and of course I'm making assumptions based on the other decks, which we don't know, but if I'm building a team of all 4 Seekers, I would probably put Milan in Rex and just call it a day.
Sure.
I think I agree with the Milan and Rex part, just because you want him succeeding by the most.
Right, yeah. Like, he's the one that it seems, when you're looking at Seekers only, he's the clearest choice, in my opinion. So I think that having a double Ellie relic build for Ursula puts her into a more unique identity amongst the Seekers and opens up some card space that they necessarily wouldn't explore, while also still playing to Ursula's strengths.
I think so. So
there's a someone released a website. I think it's in the Discord. He starts with a name, in brackets Andy.
Mm-hmm.
He released this tool, this website, where he basically takes a bunch of it's an API. I don't even know what that means, but a thing that does things, and it reads Arkham DB, and you can choose a different investigator, and it can give you all the popular cards in the decks that are being created. Do you want me to read off like the top 5, and we can start there?
That's a good discussion. Yeah. So I'm creating this deck on Arkham DB under the Mythos Busters profile. So as of right now, I have 2 Dr. Ellie Horowitz in there.
Sounds good.
Just as a heads up. But go ahead and read those top 5, and we can discuss those.
Okay. So Call of the Unknown, Jake Williams. No, okay.
Took me a minute. I was like, what is that card?
You know what's funny? Is the 5th most popular card is Random Basic Weakness.
5th.
Right, so, yeah, 5th.
Yeah.
If you cut out Call of the Unknown and Jake Williams. Because, I know when I make a deck, I roll it on Arkham DB, I hit the little arrows, so I actually have the weakness in.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. Fieldwork is the
Yes.
number 1 card.
Yes.
I think Fieldwork is a 2 of, no matter what.
No questions
Yeah.
asked, yeah.
Absolutely.
But what if we...
No. No question, Sean.
Sorry, did I
conceded.
hear a question?
No,
Okay.
did you actually have something, Sean?
No.
Okay, good. All right, moving on.
Fieldwork and Ursula, come on.
Right.
It's like, we had Matt Newman on the show, and he even said Fieldwork is probably good. Next one is Tooth of Etzley.
If we're going double Ellie, I would want to go double Tooth.
I'm fine
Yeah,
with that.
it's another target, yeah.
All right. Next one is Magnifying Glass.
Cool.
There's no reason not to.
We're building a seeker deck, right? Yeah. A lot of these are super. So the next one is Milan Christopher. So we're going to be generous and leave that for the Rex player.
I think we can afford
That's
that.
what I would lean
Okay.
to, yeah.
Fine.
Next one is Deduction, which, considering we're 4-player, I think is pretty important.
Yeah,
Because you're going to want those high rolling. Shortcut.
Yes.
Yeah. If we're leaning into that mobility, search and destroy, yeah.
No conditional. If you can take shortcut, you strongly consider shortcut.
Right.
So the next one is Perception. This is the first one that gives me pause.
Yeah, I would wait on that till we see how our deck shakes out.
I think we've got better options for extra icons, personally.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay.
The only thing Perception does is the cantrip, but...
Yeah, but if we have some card draw from Tooth of Esley, then...
Right.
Next one is Emergency Quiche.
I mean...
Sure, I
start with 2 and cut if we need to.
Yep, exactly.
We probably won't, though. Spoiler alert.
Right. Probably. Yeah, Seeker doesn't really have great resource outside of Milan.
Yeah. Inquiring Mind.
Um...
Because I tend to throw 1 in, but also I can kind of see the argument towards 2 just because we'll be 4-player and there's probably going to be a few clues.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
yeah.
I mean, we might be inclined to take it more than any of the other Seekers. Not that they're not going to take it, but if we're the one who is going first to a lot of locations, then we should be around a lot of clues in theory.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would say around Inquiring Mind is that I tend to not include it as often, simply because that 30 card space, it tends to be one of the first ones that I get rid of, simply because I love it in a specific build, which I already talked about, and outside of that specific build, I'm more like, take it or leave it. But the fact that it is 4-player, that is, like you said, that's a good argument, that there's going to be a lot of clues, so even if you're not the first character in, as long as you're in there before Rex, you'll probably have clues there to get.
Honestly, I think in 4-player, Inquiring Mind legitimately competes with Unexpected Courage for a slot.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think I agree with that completely.
Yeah, I think we put 2 in, and we can look at it later. But
Great. All right.
Next is I've got a plan.
So I guess the big question there is: are we going to, really go the way or go the route of we might split off from the group, or we might be enemy management?
I think it's best, and we kind of touched on this while you stepped away, Sean, but it's a good idea for Seekers to kind of handle everyone to have answers to enemies. Mm-hmm. And especially with Ursula, if anyone's going to be on their own, it's probably going to be either Ursula or Min. Mm-hmm. So, I've got a plan in theory, but in practice, I often find that the 3 cost is just a little too high, and either I can use it, or most of the times I find I can't. Or I have it at a time I don't need it, and I end up pitching it, that sort of thing. So...
I'm very pro I've got a plan in 4-player, because those big boss enemies at the end usually require a lot of beatdown.
That's fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
I think also at level 0 too. If we're thinking we're gonna get to the bow at some point, then maybe we think about dropping down to 1 or even 0. I've got a plans, but at level 0, we probably want some. Because what other damage is Ursula gonna have at level 0? Really, I guess is the question.
Nothing really.
0.
A knife?
Yeah, so I think we
No.
A kukri?
So we probably gotta.
No.
Okay, so double I've got a plan.
Sure.
Okay. I think to start, if we choose to put in one of those side questy.
Once we get the 5 experience and get the bow, then it's gone. But
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next is Eureka.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Double Eureka.
It's every test she's gonna want to take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's selected card draw. So.
The next one is the Chthonian Stone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this is interesting.
Now, do we want 1 or 2? I guess is the question.
I'm generally, as a rule, 1 on Chthonian Stone. It's unique.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna want a double fist. Like, if you draw into your second one and you already have the first one down, you're not generally too happy
unique.
about it.
The only argument... Yeah, it's
right.
unique, so you can't double fist.
You can't double
literally, your first point removes your second point. But the only argument for 2 is that it's more likely that we'll pull something with Dr. Ellie. But I would agree that I generally go 1 of.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say 1.
1?
Mm-hmm.
1.
I have found, and side tangent here, but I think it's relevant. I have found that Ellie in Ursula, level 0 up to level 5, she generally doesn't hit as accurately. But once you start getting 10, 20 experience, that's when she actually works like she's supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Next one is Ellie. So,
Check.
So another one that I'm kind of questioning now, and I think Sean and I agree, Unexpected Courage. I don't think we need it with...
I don't think we have room... Yeah.
Not with Inquiring Mind and Deduction, Eureka, yeah.
We've already got 6 skills in here, and they're probably... 4 of them are probably already in all the other secret decks as well, so I don't think we need Unexpected Courage.
And honestly, skills, unless I'm playing a skill-based deck, they've been the category of cards I've played less and less, although...
Neutrals, at least, yeah.
I even find, I pick a few good skills, and then I'm I'll just commit my other cards. I don't know. But, logical reasoning?
Yep.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
I'd start at 2. We might cut down to 1.
Cut if we need.
It's good for getting rid of those treacheries, and it's good for healing horror, obviously, and at the end of the day, it is a guts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be 100% always for me in a normal group, and the only reason I paused is because in an all-seeker group, it's well, everyone can take it, but I still think it's a good baseline place to start.
Yeah.
Nobody should have any horror in an all-seeker game.
Or if they do, who cares? Because they all have 9.
Right.
Sanity.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've agreed on a lot of cards so far.
Yeah, that's
this
a
is
good
going to be an
start.
interesting one. Unearth the Ancients.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me look at what it is again. Hang on.
It's the one where you test the cost, and if you succeed...
If we go with another Chthonian stone, I would say yes. But honestly, with only 3 relics in there, and we already have double Ellies to pull them out for free, I would say no.
I think I agree with you.
I have tried this in Ursula, and I haven't used it very often. There just hasn't been... Like, if this was a Guardian card, I would use it all day, but... Obviously, maybe not an intellect test. But basically, the point is Seeker doesn't have a ton of, like, costly assets to put out that you're worried about this.
I pass on this one constantly for the same reason I constantly pass on alchemical transmutation. I don't want to leave my economy in the grasp of the chaos bag.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all agreed. Crap card. Move on.
I mean, you guys laugh, but this card's not there yet. I'll say
last card on the top 20, and top 20 if you include Call the Unknown, Jake Williams,
Sure.
and Random Basic Weakness, is Manual Dexterity.
No.
I agree.
No room. Now,
Put it in.
one
2
that
up. Sorry,
one
we
that I
needed some
will
static.
that I will jump to is Vantage Point.
Let's look at this. Ooh. This is the one I always have to remind myself.
It's one that I put in a lot of my decks as I'm building them, and then as I cut, it's usually one of the ones to get cut.
Same.
But in an all Seeker team,
You know what? I like it too.
I do too. Yeah.
Really?
I'm not joking either. Yeah, you know what? Only because of what we're doing with Ursula, and the idea of we're going with is we're all a big group. We're huddled around like a bunch of nerds walking through a football field, right? With all the jocks there, they're going to beat us up. And Ursula runs away to, we have to go to that location, but we can just send one person. She uses Vantage Point. She gets there, lowers the shroud, moves a clue from that location to a location closer to the group, and then can clear out that location quicker. Plus, the test icons are literally the 2 tests she's going to be making all the time with intellect and agility.
But she moves the clue to the location she just revealed, not closer to the group.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. You can clear out higher shroud locations. Now here's this.
That's true. Yeah.
Now imagine if every other Seeker in this group took one of this, and then you all dogpiled Vantage Point on one location.
A 5 shroud, move it to a 1 shroud.
Right. Yeah. Now I don't. Maybe not 2, but I do. I think if this card has a place in any deck, it's this one that we're building.
I'll begrudgingly agree to 1, but it's at the tops of my potential cut list.
Really, it's above your second logical reasoning.
Actually, yes.
What?
But we'll get there when we get there.
I definitely like the potential of this one. Like, there's a few scenarios I can think of where you, like, if you're trailblazing, you can drag a clue along with you so that, you know, there's some locations that have 0 clues on them, so you're setting up your Inquiring Mind or Field.
Well, and this is after the location enters play, so you can see what the location is and then decide if you want to stack another clue on it or not. So
yeah.
So now we're at what, 24 cards, Nick?
We are currently at 24.
So as far as relics go, do we want Decorated Skull? Because that's the only other option we have at 0. I'm leaning no.
Not with what we
Not
have
unless someone's going with a cheeky art student lab assistant, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? What are we...
What are the other relics? There really aren't any, are there? Not at level 0.
There's no other relics. Do we want to include the glyphs or
the solutions?
Strange Solution?
What would Ursula
I don't
take?
think
Medical texts? Just kidding.
I don't think you need glyphs. I think you might look at Strange Solution as another enemy management option down the road.
Ursula would probably be one of the enemy managers, not like as a main thing, but I feel like it's her and Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that if one seeker identifies the solution, everybody can... No, they still have to include the original, I guess.
Yeah, but only one person has to hit the test.
True, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, potentially between the bow and strange solution, Ursula could be doing some real pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we'll start to... you'll be having those bosses that have...
20 health, 24
16
health
per player. Yeah.
So
I think
one
we
or
toss it
two
in.
of strange.
I think if you go strange solution, you toss 2 in, right?
I think so
Agreed,
too.
yeah.
Probably, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What about something like anatomical diagrams?
Not for Ursula.
I know I sounded lackluster when I said it, but I actually do like it.
That requires you have 5 sanity remaining.
Yeah, 5 or more. Yeah.
Starting at 7, that makes me
rough
iffy.
for her.
Okay. I
But
figured with double logical reasoning
Yeah.
That's true.
and the fact that she's trying to handle enemies in this build.
Oh, can I just lob a softball over the plate here?
Sure.
Preposterous sketches.
Yep.
Sure, yeah. 1 or 2.
2.
I usually go 2.
So here's another thing. Preposterous sketches and inquiring mind. Great with vantage point. Never mind. I guess there's always going to be clues on a new location.
We've got one in there.
1, yeah, I know. Just,
I mean, Nick, I was all for 2.
You
so-
were. I was happy that you and I were on the same, because if you and I agree, that usually means that I'm in the right place.
Go ahead and put the second one in there. So I can
Okay.
have the pleasure of cutting it immediately when we get to cuts.
Oh, shut your fucking. We have one space
Oh,
open.
jeez.
Kukri.
Barricade.
Of course, Kukri.
Barricade.
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
No,
if
she's
she's
moving
moving
around
around
too
a
much.
lot.
Yeah, too much. There's not anything that's jumping out at me. Let me see.
God, barricade should be when the last investigator leaves attached location.
Backpack?
Not when...
Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm
You're
joking.
fine. Okay. Well, I was
I
going to say
don't-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
5. Yeah, no.
I don't think it's a good
6,
card,
7.
but I love the idea of seeking answers in Ursula, so she can like zip across the map and then
Is that the one
reach
that-
another location to grab a clue. But yeah,
Oh, I am going to propose
Yeah,
at least one trench coat if she's the main evader for the group.
I'm down for that.
Well, we have one open slot in our deck right now. So we can put 2 in and then take something else out.
Sure.
Like Vantage Point.
I'm not sure I like trench coat. Well,
The thing is, it's expensive. Like, that 3
Yeah.
cost is kind of the harder... That's the thing to get across on it. That's the hurdle to playing it.
I'm gonna take a look at our curve. Oh man, our curve is steep. Holy crap.
Is it?
Yeah.
Steve,
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is like the pattern in which an airplane follows when it takes off.
Usually I'm more like undecided depending on team composition, but I feel like, I mean, you look at the other seekers and they are not evading squat, and you think about how many times you need to evade, and 4 sounds good, but in practice you're going to need higher evade than that. Like a good base 5
Yeah.
would be kind of what you need to get to.
Ian's just slowly trying to convince us that we should sub in Rita.
Yeah.
It's the long con.
I was going to say Finn, but...
All Seeker and Rita. Yeah, I think you can convince me on trench coat.
On 1 or 2? I like 1.
I like 1 as well.
Because
Okay.
that 3 cost is rough. And
Yeah.
it only has 1 agility icon, so if you get that second one, you're not necessarily pitching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, well, that puts us at 30, so we don't need to make any cuts.
And we're done.
2 vantage points. Okay, we're good.
Perfect. Is there any... Okay, well, let's look at what the other options are. We
Sure.
don't necessarily want any neutral skills, like we talked about.
No.
We already talked about the ones that would be most likely to be added anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of the other neutrals are ones we want to pass on, personally. Painkillers, kukri, smoking pipe, none of those really.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in any off classes other than Decorated Skull and Chthonian Stone, which we already passed on. So what else in Seeker is really screaming to us? Anything?
Do we have an intended campaign for this?
No, I don't think we know.
Okay.
And that's kind of like what's... I'm like, oh man, I don't really know where to go from here because I don't know which campaign, right? Like I'm not teching for a specific thing.
There's nothing jumping out at me.
No, guidance is garbage. Mind over matter would not really be necessary. Well, it would give her +3 combat, I guess.
In which, sorry?
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter, but I don't think that's really needed.
Probably not.
I don't know.
I mean, it
no
does
stone
way
on.
more in the level 0 deck. Once she starts getting things to actually fight with later on, it's a quick cut.
Yeah, I guess it would be a more campaign-dependent thing, too, if you need to pass like those combat tests on locations, but I don't know.
Fine clothes and trench coat?
I guess that's the question. Do we want trench coat or do we want fine clothes? Which one? Because fine clothes is, I think it's a better soak. And it's cheaper, but...
Most, with an asterisk, most parlay tests are intellect anyway, and she already has high int.
Yeah.
So...
How about fine clothes and we slot in 2 persuasions?
So you're saying fine clothes instead of trench coat?
I'm not sure I'm convinced. That's so... it's so campaign dependent, I don't want to commit to that.
Persuasion, hey?
Persuasion is...
Well, I clearly failed on that persuasion test.
I wanna... I look at persuasion and that's one of those... It's a lot like eavesdrop, where it's one of those cards that I want to use, but I just haven't yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's an interesting thing to do, but I've never actually done it yet, so...
I think if we were already putting in 2 fine clothes, I would say yes to persuasion.
Right.
But I don't think there's an argument to put fine clothes in over trench coat. Sure. I think like the trench coat to me is like okay, I can see how it could fit in there, but there's no way to me you could argue fine clothes over trench coat currently in what we're trying to do.
Right.
Because knee-jerk reaction, like trench coat is one of those fine clothes is one of those cards I kind of just start putting in every deck now because there's parlay stuff, and it's a good soak, for one. So...
I'm going to throw this out there. I don't expect it to gain much traction, but I'm a big fan of this, at least in non-seekers. But True Understanding...
I like that card.
I like it a lot.
True Understanding.
1 wild. If you succeed, it can only be committed to a skill test printed on a scenario card, that's going to be most of the testing you're doing. Mm-hmm. And if you succeed, you discover a clue.
Well, except
I
for
like a cheeky
investigate and fight tests.
Or anything on treachery cards. Or anything on location tests.
Or enemies.
Mm-hmm. Or, literally anything other than the player cards. So, I would argue... Okay, 1?
Yeah, and if we're fortunate enough, if Min is with us and we're at her location, that's a 2 pip situation.
I mean, it's... I love it just because anything that gets you clues when you don't normally get clues, I think is super useful. So, even in a class that already does that all the time. Mm-hmm. So what are we dropping to put that in? Are we dropping that vantage point? Or are we dropping something that isn't as... I've made it clear I'm not sold on Strange Solution as being a necessary in most decks.
Well,
I don't think it's necessary. We could potentially cut it.
Let's look at the easy 1 cuts. Chthonian Stone, right? Like just it's a 1 out.
Drop it completely. I was gonna say if you drop that, then we need to relook at Dr. Ellie Horowitz.
The entire deck. Yeah.
The entire basis, yeah.
So oh god.
Well, like I said, Ellie tends not to do much for me the first couple scenarios, but then later on she's a rock star.
Right. I think we're approaching this from a standpoint of that this will be a campaign. Or at least experience will be gained. So
Do Do we want to cut Strange Solution? I guess is the question. Because I think if you cut one, you cut both.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I really do like Strange Solution because I think we need a damage output.
Well, okay, so I think we need to make the decision right quick whether we are really leaning into enemy management, assuming that Ursula is going to be one of the better options for it.
Well, let's think about...
Or if we're kind of sticking to the all-round build, assuming that everyone's going to help out a little bit.
What about we...
I think all the Seekers are going to have I've got a plan. Most of them will probably have mind over matter. Like Daisy would probably take mind over matter.
What if we cut
you know what I mean?
I've got a plan? Or one of.
Well, then you're losing your damage output at level 0. And Strange Solution in level 0 doesn't give you damage. It gives you card draw and a useless test.
We're kind of at a weird
of
place in the party at level 0 compared to higher level because, like, I was thinking that too, Scott, because that also drops our curve down a bit. Because it's 3 costs. Because at level 0, we're actually one of the weaker damage dealers, because all we have is I've got a plan right now. We don't have anything else. And at level 0, Daisy can have Shriveling, Min can have Fire Axe. Who am I forgetting? Rex can
also have Fire
Axe.
Also have
Fire Axe, yeah.
But then when we get to higher levels with an upgraded Strange Solution and Bow, we're actually one of the best. So do we just like basically kick the bucket down the road for our higher levels? We're going to pull our weight, and at level 0 we're hoping the other people are going to cover for us.
So I think my what I'm looking at now as far as cuts, I'm sorry, Nick, I think it's True Understanding to me, just because it's a bit too niche. I think
niche? What? You know how many tests are on scenario cards, right? I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm disagreeing with your word usage of niche.
I guess it's the most situational card out of these, I think. Or Vantage Point.
The mosquito around me disagrees with
I was about to say, that was a very solid mosquito impression.
I really like Vantage Point, like, because I rarely use it. So I love putting 2 of them in this
I love it
deck.
because I never use it. Oh, I love Kukri.
Yeah. Also, it's insight, so we could put it in her hunch deck. So. Well, what's our cut, boys? We have 1 card.
Oh, I already took out True Understanding.
Oh, okay.
I said I agreed with you on cutting it. I disagreed with you saying it's niche because it fits most tests. Literally most tests.
Yeah.
Well, that's 30.
Right. But I'm fine. That's 30, yeah.
And we got 2 Vantage Points in there. High five, Nick.
Yay.
Wait, did we?
Yep.
Yeah.
God damn.
I'll link the total here in just or the build. What do we call this? I'm voting for Just Wait. Because we're all like, once we get experience, we can start doing shit. We can play with relics, we can play with damage.
Just you wait.
Just you wait.
But you as in, like, the initial U for Ursula.
Sure.
Sure.
We'll make that concession.
Oh, we didn't... Did you roll our random random basic
Our
weakness?
random bacon weakness.
Should we see what we get?
Yep.
Random bacon weakness. Stubborn detective.
Oh, God.
That's a problem.
Oh, God.
That's a problem.
Roots. Yeah, he's easily evaded.
Also known
He's
as
just going to
see
be
what I get on my
really
end.
obnoxious.
Bow recipient.
Yeah.
I got Psychosis when I rolled
Is this...
it, so...
Oh, I was going to say, Stubborn detective, is this when we make a switch to Lola?
I got Psychosis, too.
Grab the handcuffs.
So there is Just You Wait.
Nice.
Our final deck build for Ursula in an all-seeker team.
I actually want to play this in an all-seeker team now, and I'm most excited about Vantage Point.
I like Vantage
Just
Point
because
I like what
it
it's
work.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I find the most funny? I'm looking at some of the charts here. We have exactly 2 combat icons in the entire deck.
Yeah, why bother?
Yeah. And we're at, let's see, we have 14 willpower icons, 14 intellect, 9 agility, 9 wild.
That's pretty...
So
2
really
combat.
we have 2 combat plus 9 combat because those wilds.
Yeah,
Well,
but we'll
combat's
probably use
the
it for
dump
agility.
stat, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Where are those two coming from?
I've got a plan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cut it.
We'll probably chuck that to a combat test. You're right.
Absolutely.
I committed to... Oh, my God.
Our curve is off the chart, though. We have
It's terrible.
nine cards at 3.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
6 cards at 2. 6 cards at 1. 4 cards at 0.
We should have taken along.
For it to give us some 4s in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
At least our curve stops at 3.
Exactly.
I was
That is
gonna
actually a boom.
I was gonna say Seeker needs more resource generation, but they don't need anything.
Oh my god, you're right. It looks like a takeoff trajectory. that is unideal.
That is not how I like my curves to look.
This is like the rising, it's like story structure. You've got the beginning, and then there's the rising action, and then you have the midpoint. And never mind, this
you
analogy
wait.
is falling apart.
That climax is coming.
Just you wait.
Mm-hmm. So what would be the ideal opening hand if looking at our curve and everything? Ellie?
Two
Let's
quiches.
test this bitch.
Yeah, let's draw an opening hand.
So I would keep Ellie. Magnifying. I'm looking at what I just
What
drew.
did you
I
draw?
drew prep sketches, logical reasoning, magnifying glass, Ellie Horowitz, and shortcut.
Did you just draw like the god hand?
I would drop logical reasoning
Yeah.
from my opening hand. I would probably drop.
So
No,
I
I'd keep the rest
I'd keep Ellie. I'd keep magnifying glass. I'd keep
Yep.
sketches,
and keep
and I'd keep
shortcut.
shortcut.
I might drop shortcut
Maybe shortcut.
just because she has that free movement. Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, she combines those
Yeah.
actions. So
shortcut is
redraw.
is used later on in the.
Yeah. So then I redrew another logical reasoning, and I've got a plan. So let's try that again. What else do we get? Reset 5. This time, strange solution. I've got a plan. Tooth of Etsley, deduction, and the weakness can't be drawn. So we'll do that again. And Eureka. So this was a much worse hand.
Oof.
I'd keep Eureka.
Yep. And I think I'd
And-
chuck the rest.
Chuck all 4. Yeah. Redraw selected. That's a little better. Now we've got Ellie, Inquiring Mind, Tooth. Ellie and Tooth in the opening hand sucks.
Yes.
And then I've got a plan. So it's not bad. Ideal opening hand. You're looking for Ellie, I'd say. You're looking for a little something that'll get you more cards. Probably prep sketches, maybe Eureka, and then hopefully a quiche.
Yeah.
God, Seeker needs more resource acceleration options.
Yeah. Should we just throw Milan in here?
Yeah, for the vantage points.
32 card deck. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Well, I don't know if we'll ever get around to playing this because we never got around to playing the purple ones, but really cool thought exercise. And yeah, Ian, I agree. I feel like this one's a little bit more intriguing because Mystics can kind of bend in a lot of different directions. That's one of their strengths. Seekers are a little bit more tricky in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, I don't have a good handle on how it... like, potentially, you could blitz through a scenario super quick. Like, all the clue compression of 4 Seekers.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you get bogged down by enemies, you might be in trouble. But... I don't know.
This is very much the oh my god run
Yeah.
style of play, right? Like
Yes. Right now it is, at least.
everyone's gonna get like shortcuts and then like not upgraded shortcut. What's the if you're not engaged with an enemy, you can
Pathfinder.
move. Pathfinder. That one field work. Everyone's just gonna be like bing, 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 and like just grab everything.
All right, excellent. We'll definitely go and check out the other all yellow all the time deck builds from Arkham Chronicle, Drawn to the Flame, and I'm going to assume Men from Lang again? Was the
Men from Lang, yeah.
Yeah. Or Whisper in Darkness is the actual channel.
Yes. Yes.
All right, guys, let's wrap this sucker up and move into a little bit of tentacle time. Nick, we know what you're about. So let's lead with you.
Okay. I was
What
just
role
typing
playing
up.
game are you talking about this time?
It's still Miris, guys. It's still Dungeons & Dragons. It's going strong. We've hit a little bit of a scheduling hiccup just because we have 3 DMs and 27 26 players, I think, 26 active players last time I counted. So it's difficult to get every game to have a DM. We've had to delete a couple of scheduled games, sadly. I hate doing that, but it has happened. We had our first character death just a couple days ago, which is surprising out of
Well, I mean, it happened, not who
right.
It was.
It broke the seal, right? Yeah. So now we can kill a bunch. But out of 10 or 12 games played, we finally had our first character death. It was a level 3 barbarian. So if anyone's going to go, it's going to be the barbarian. And other than that, our fourth DM, his new job is starting to get squared away, and he's starting to come back. We have a special event planned for the beginning of February. I'm super excited for everyone to take part in that. Got some cool plans from there and beyond that. If you're interested in playing, let me know. If you're an experienced dungeon master, get a hold of me and we can talk about running this. It's definitely a unique gaming style, but I'm willing to at least talk with you and see if it's a fit for you as a dungeon master, because we could use two more would be ideal. One more would be great.
Yes, because that's exactly what you want to do with your hobby time, is go on a job interview.
I would hate to throw a DM into this and just say, there you go, let's go.
Sink or swim.
You guys need to see the Google Drive. It is huge
I can
of all
only
the stuff
imagine.
that we have. Yeah, and then lastly, around Miris, have an in-person game scheduled for end of February. So my first in-person game since I started it back in November. And Sean's going to be a part of that, as well as a couple other players. So yeah, going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Ian, how about you?
Well, one brief mention. I mentioned it before the show. True Detective Season 3 is on. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and it's awesome. So watch it. I won't talk about it much. Maybe when the season's over, we can reconvene. Let's see what else. I guess the only big new thing is after I jumped feet first into Miris, now my old in-person group has decided to restart again. So D&D is going to flood through my life once more, which is good. But they are all magic nerds, so they decided they want this new campaign to be in the world of Ravnica, which is a magic-based world, which I know nothing about because I've never played magic.
Boo.
But I've been reading through the campaign guide, and the actual world is freaking awesome. Like, it's much different than any other RPG world I've been in. It has, it's fantasy, but it has some future technology, weird science things built into it. You can play as a freaking minotaur or centaur. So I'm pretty stoked about, just playing in-person D&D again, and also this particular campaign. I'm playing as a Vidalcan, I think is how you say race, which is...
Vidalcan?
Yeah, they're super logical and calm, kind of like Vulcans. But I'm playing as one that's
I mean, it's literally just Vulcan with an extra syllable, isn't
it? Sure.
It essentially is.
But there's a race that are hybrids that are basically getting experimented on mixed with animals. I'm playing a Vidalcan hybrid barbarian. So basically he's going to be the Incredible Hulk, super logical and calm scientist. But when he gets enraged, he is going to be barbarian mode. So I'm excited about, as I am with all the D&D characters I create, where it's going to go.
And Sean, as much as you bitch and moan about magic, Ravnica is one of the coolest fantasy settings ever. It is very cool.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I know. I just have to throw that out there. I hold nothing against any of the settings of magic. It's just the business model. That's it.
Because we were chatting in our little chat, and Ian mentioned it, and then you're like, boo, and then I start mentioning all this stuff about Ravnica. I'm like, yeah, there's these guilds, blah, blah, blah. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, oh yeah, that actually kind of sounds kind of cool.
Any setting where they can rope you in with what's your house or what's your guild, that's a one-way ticket to getting your interest.
Faction identity.
Yep.
If we've learned anything in the past 2 years, is humans really love tribalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to bring it down, Sean.
It's just a fact about human nature. We don't have to get bummed about it.
Ian, what guild are you in? Are you in Simic?
Yeah, I am in Simic, but the idea is he's... well, I'm going to see where the RP goes, but he is not happy there, because kind of how I'm playing it is that he's... he kind of likes losing control on the rage thing, so if the story plays out that way, I might jump ship to another guild. We'll see.
He wants to go Is It.
Something like
That's
that.
blue and red.
Yeah.
Is it? Orzhov.
IZZET is red,
Yeah.
blue.
Yep, no, I know. I'm an Orzhov guy.
I am so
Black,
lost
white.
right now.
These are the different clan ones.
Yeah.
Sean is just mono black.
Yes! Sean is Orz.
I'll take your word for it. Scott, what you been up to?
Well, I think it was last show I mentioned I got this game on the Switch called Golf Story, and it's a
did.
golf RPG. I finished it and I started playing it again. So to give you an idea how good I thought it was, I finished it and I was like, well, better start another campaign.
God damn it, I'm
So,
gonna have to go grab this. How much is it?
Oh, I think it was like $15 or something. Like
Totally absorbable.
it was completely absorbable. But I've also gotten back again into the Breach, which I mentioned. I'm playing that, and also oh goodness, Stardew Valley. I just downloaded a couple days ago for my Switch, and I was like, oh yeah, you know what I want to do with my spare time? We're gonna farm.
Fucking farm,
So-
baby. Oh, dude, it's such a good chill game. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
it's so good for just sitting down and decompressing. It's great.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna like click on these tiles and plant potatoes.
I've never
But
been
so
so excited to set up bean vine props.
Yeah. and manage your sprinkler layout, you know, like
Yes.
just
Jeez.
oh my god. So anyways, just a bunch of Switch games really.
Cool.
And the new Magic set came out, but I won't talk about that
well, you
because
just
you're
did.
there. Well, you know what I mean.
I didn't know you were still actually playing.
Well, I play the online, the Magic Arena.
Yeah, did you get his friend code?
Yeah, Sean, did you get my friend code? And I play super casually. Like I make like the jankiest decks ever. Like I never played like competitive Magic, and if I ever did, I'd bring like just the stupidest, jankiest deck that's so off meta, and I'd actually do kind of well. So
Humble brag. Not
Yeah.
so humble.
The new set is Ravnica.
I said
too,
kind of
right?
well.
What's the
that?
new
The
set?
new set is Ravnica based, is it?
Yes, it's the second set of 3 that are Ravnica. The blocks in Magic usually go like there's either 2 or 3 sets that have a story, and so this one is like the third time Magic has gone back to Ravnica. So this is the second set of a Ravnica one, and like the first set they do 5 guilds. This one does the other 5. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Boo. I mean, Ravnica's cool, but... Boo.
I don't know. There's just so much there. It is. I love Ravnica. It's just
Go back
so
to
cool.
Ixalan!
They were
I know
just there.
I know, but go back, because there's dinosaurs.
I did like the dinosaurs.
The art was so good!
Yeah.
When
And
I Google searched Ixalan, I did it in all caps.
of course
Return to Ravnica. Yeah.
So for my part, I honestly have not done a whole lot outside. I'm a 2-game man right now. When I have free time, that's not devoted to Mythos Busters business. I'm either playing Arkham or I'm playing Red Dead Redemption.
Checks out.
My God, I have sunk so many stupid hours into Red Dead Redemption. That game is so bloody immersive. I am...
And how many of
I'm
those
from-
hours have been spent on cultivating outfits?
Uncultivating what?
Outfits.
Oh God, dude. I mean, you know me. I'm a skin and outfit whore. That's the carrot I will chase down any length of stick. The main thing I've been doing actually is hunting the. Okay, we're gonna blow past it. Hunting the legendary
I
animals, and you get to unlock a bunch of cool costumes when you do that. I'm finally really getting back into the story. My wife, who is just so not a gamer, that is just one point where our relationship has never met, she's gotten into watching me play Red Dead Redemption. Yesterday, she asked me, oh, hey, do you want to go play Red Dead Redemption? And I almost fell over. It's great. So anyway, I've just been playing a ton of that. It is just such a good game. Ian, we need to do our Mythos bonus on Red Dead Redemption like we've been talking about.
Yeah. I've gotten decently far enough, I think, to talk about it.
Have you gotten into Saint Denis?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in chapter 4. Like, not too far
that's
into
where
it.
I'm at
but,
in the story.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anyway, I won't belabor that point any farther, and I suppose at this point we should wrap up the episode, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let's do a quick rundown. Do not forget, if you're looking at burger tokens, go out, check them out. I love my set. I actually bought 2, if that says anything, and I bought them at full price, which you do not have to do. Go use our promo code BUSTERS at checkout, and you'll get a 10% discount. Make sure you put your memes in the email envelope, and this sentence got away from me. Send us your Chaos Token related memes to mythosbusterspod@gmail.com by February 14th, and then pay attention to our social media when we bust those out and ask for your opinions. Check us out on Twitch. I actually can say that I've got a regular rhythm going every other Tuesday, and the next one's going to be
2 days from now?
2 days from now, so January 22nd. And then, of course, the one after that will be February 5th. Playing Tuesday Night Arkham on Twitch. Last time I had David M. Elliott Stokes' book on with me, and we got just trounced by Carnival in 2-player. It was a bloodbath. We took it a second time, still lost. Spoiler alert. But it was a good game. At least the second one was a good game. We got to the end. So anyway, check those out. That's going to be a continuing thing, hopefully, as long as schedules continue to work out every other Tuesday night. Oh God, what else, guys? Ian, you had an Abandoned and Alone recently, yeah?
Yep, deck built for Carolyn, locked and loaded. I should be taking her into Phantom of Truth tentatively on Wednesday. You should be hearing this podcast before then, so yeah, look for that.
Nice. And of course, if you're interested in seeing these playthroughs, go out to our Twitch channel at Mythos Busters. Subscribe, you'll get a notification via email whenever we go live so you can catch them live. And of course, we do always port these over to YouTube where you can find them afterward. Mm-hmm. We're on Spotify, we're on Discord, we're on the Facebook, we're on Twitter, just all the things. Find us, communicate with us, enjoy us. Let us enjoy you. This is getting weird. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off now. Guys, thank you for joining us for episode 52 of Mythos Busters, and we will see you for 53.
Jesus Christ.
We're fucking punchy for a Sunday night.
Right?
There's
Last episode was really
for
punchy,
you.
too. Yeah, some ASMR. Mythos Busters ASMR.
Is that not how it goes?